Hi everyone. So we're going to do section 1.1 today, which is identify points, lines, and planes. Before we do that though, just a reminder, if you have not used Notability before, to transfer this file over to Notability, once you have downloaded it to your drive from Google Classroom, in your drive you hit these three dots, you hit send a copy, you hit Notability, and then you're going to create a new note. You're going to pick for your subject geometry notes. Should already be named chapter 1.1 notes, and you're going to import all the pages. Top right, you hit import and it will send it to Notability. So then you can just go ahead and open your Notability. So, like I said, we're doing section 1.1. Try and keep this brief. 1.1 is just a lot of vocabulary and some of the notation we need to get down. So to start, our first vocabulary word is a point, and a point has no dimension and it is represented by a dot. So we would call this dot point A. And notice I use a capital A because that's what I used when I labeled the dot. Our next vocabulary word is a line. And a line has one dimension. It is represented by a line with two arrowheads, but it extends without end. So through any 2 points, there's exactly one line. And you can use any 2 points on a line to name it. So for example, you have a point A, you have a point B, and draw a line, draw a better line through those 2 points. And I can label it with an L. We usually use a cursive L just so it doesn't get confused with a 1. So we can call this a couple of things. We can call it line L. We can call it, with our notation, AB with this double arrow overhead. We can call it BA, because actually the order doesn't matter here with this double arrow overhead. We can call it line AB or line BA. For your homework assignment, try and keep the letters in alphabetical order when order doesn't matter. If order matters, don't. Just so that the grading goes a little easier. Our other vocabulary word here is a plane, and a plane has 2 dimensionals. It is represented by a shape that looks like a floor or a wall, but it does extend without end. And through any 3 points on the same line, there is exactly one plane. You can use 3 points that are not all on the same line to name a plane. So when it talks about a wall shape, I just think of it as like a fallen down piece of paper or a desk or something. We could label this plane M or plane P, and it has 3 dots on it. Maybe they're A, B, and C. So what we can call this is we can call this plane M. We could call it plane A, B, C. For the record, we could shuffle those letters. Notice M is not attached to a point because there's no point with that. It's just the plane. We have a couple others. So we call collinear points are points that lie on the same line. So they're collinear, share a line. And then we also call coplanar points are points that lie on the same plane. So example 1 here, we want to give 2 other names for the line PQ and for plane R. So other names for PQ are, so PQ is right here, so we could call it QP. Again with this. We could call it, notice the little N above there, so we could call it line N. If we want to rename our plane R, we could say other names for plane R, and notice again R is not a dot, it's different than V. Other names for plane R are plane, if I wanted to name 3 dots on that plane, we could name it plane SVT and plane PTV. We want to name 3 points that are collinear and name 4 points that are coplanar. So 3 points that are collinear, I'm looking at my line M here. we could say points S, P, and T lie on the same line. For the record, that's line M. So they are collinear. For our coplanar, we want 4 points, so we can choose any 4 points. In fact, the only point in that diagram that we can't choose is point Q, because notice it's floating way above, so it's not sharing a plane with those other ones, although conceivably you could draw a plane through Q and SPTQ, but we don't have that other plane pictured, so we're going to say points V, Q, S, not Q, I just said not Q, V, S, P, and T lie on plane R, so are coplanar. I have some student practice examples here, but I'm not going to do these with you. Vocabulary, some more terms here. Let's get our notation down. So notation is the way we write these. So line AB, we can write as AB with that double arrow over top. And points A and B are used here to define the terms below. So we have that line AB. We can say the line segment AB. Notice it doesn't have the line over top. Or segment AB, which can be written as AB. It's also common for a line segment. If you write 2 letters with nothing over them, it's common that it's a line segment. But for now, we're just going to draw that line over top of it. And it consists of the endpoints, A and B, and all the points on the line AB that are between A and B. So note that AB can also be written as BA. So let's draw this. We have an endpoint A, we have an endpoint B. If we connect these two, so endpoint, whoops. So we would call this our segment. So segment does not extend without end. Then we have the ray AB, which we write as AB with a ray through it and a 1 arrow, consists of the endpoint A and all points on the line AB that lie on the same side of A as B. So I want you guys to note that the ray AB and the ray BA are different rays. So let's go ahead and draw both of those. So ray AB, we have our endpoint A, and then we have a point B right here, but notice from the endpoint it runs through B with an arrow like that. So this is AB. Versus if we have this A here, and we have B here, but now B is our endpoint, and it runs this way. Hello. It's going in the other direction. So rays have a direction. We still write the notation with the arrow always going to the right, but you switch the order of your letters. If point C lies on the line AB between A and B, then the ray CA and the ray CB are what we call opposite rays. So that was pretty wordy, but what that means is, say you have a point A, you have a point C, and you have a point B. So notice C is in between them. And you run like this. Our opposite rays here are CB versus CA. Those are opposite rays. They go in opposite directions, but share one endpoint. Then we have segments and rays are collinear if they lie on the same line. So you can have collinear rays. So opposite rays are always collinear. And line segments and rays are coplanar if they lie in the same plane. So let's look at this example here. We want another name for the line segment GH. So another name for GH is HG because the order doesn't matter here. Now we want to name all the rays with endpoint J, and which of these rays are opposite rays. So our endpoint J is right here, so we're going to label all the rays. So we have JH, we have JG, notice the endpoint always comes first, we have JF, and we have JE. So hopefully you can see there's two pairs of opposite rays. So JH and JG are opposite rays because they're collinear, and JE and JF are opposite rays. Again, because they're collinear. Sorry, my handwriting's really bad on here. So I have some more student practice problems that we may go through together at some point, or you can just use for further practice. Few more definitions. So two or more geometric figures intersect if they have one or more points in common. The intersection of the figures is the set of points the figures have in common. So I'm going to show you three of the main examples. The first one, we're going to look at the intersection. The intersection of two lines is a point. Okay, so any two lines intersect at a single point. So if we have our line, let's make this straight. Line M, and then we have a line N. Notice these intersect at point A. This one's a tricky one to draw. The intersection of two planes is a line. So when you draw this one, this is a little tricky. I usually start by drawing the line first. So I'm going to draw this line, and let's call it Q. I'll draw my first plane in red. So the first plane, draw it coming up from your line, like that. Now let's draw half of our other plane, kind of going sideways here, kind of cuts into Q, sorry. All right, now we get into dotted. So whenever the plane goes behind the other one, I'm going to do a dotted line. So it's dotted like that, and then that would be solid. Okay, so that's my blue plane, and then this part would be solid. This would be dotted, solid. All right, not bad. So hopefully you can see that we intersect here at the line Q. So two planes intersect at a line. And then our last one, the intersection of a line and a plane is a point. This one's not so bad to draw. We have some plane here, a better plane than that. So we have a plane. And we'll call this plane P, and then we have this line, we'll call it L, and it intersects at A, so it comes out of the plane, and then behind the plane we do it kind of dotted, and then solid again. This is our line L. So if you can draw those three, fabulous. So example 3, we're just going to do some sketching. So we want to sketch a plane and a line that is in the plane. So I'm going to start by drawing my plane. And in order for the line to be in the plane, that means that all points on that line are on the plane. So it's actually just laying right on top of it. So think of if you put your pencil down on your paper, the pencil is kind of like a line, our line L, and our plane M. Now we want to sketch a plane and a line that does not intersect the plane. So, remembering that planes extend forever and lines extend forever, it has to be true that this line is parallel with our plane. So it never intersects it. You can think of it as kind of, it's like it's below the plane there. And then we want to sketch a plane and a line that intersect at a point, which is our third example that we just did. But sure, we'll draw again just for practice. We have a plane, call it M, intersects at a point. This is our line L, dotted F. Okay, so hopefully you're fabulous at drawing these now. The rest is just extra practice for you. Example 4, I needed to take that out and I forgot to. So we might go through this practice together at some point if I feel like we need some more practice. Otherwise, you can do it on your own for extra practice using your textbook.